Diburei Emuna, second Chelik Daf Tzadik Dalet. We're talking about Moshe Breslover, one of the two kids that grew up in Reb Noson's house. Became tzaddikim geonim. It was known the geonis, the genius, the exaltedness of Moshe Breslover and the Torah and all its treasures. Anash used to say about his unbelievable avodas Hashem, together with unceasing asmoda and limud. Then after doing chatzos, he would sit and learn Shulchan Aruch with Tur, Bes Yosef, in the Bach with unbelievable ecstasy. And in Oman they would longingly mimic how he used to say, Zok der Bach, the Bach is saying. I didn't hear Rabbi Yitzchak say that, so I don't know exactly what is the. These tzaddikim, they were born in a very simple house, very simple house, very simple people, but because they grew up in the house of Reb Noson, and they under his shadow, they became two unbelievable tzaddikim geonim. In other words, he says, by the way, the Olam says that the rest of the Hasidim don't learn. They only do avodas Hashem and his Beidadus, but it's not like that. So the rest of the Hasidim, they osik in Torah and in Tefillah together. Also, when they are doing avodas Hashem and making up chatzos, Anash used to learn in Shas and Poskim and Rishonim and Achronim, Shulchan Aruch with all the Mefoshim. That's why Rabbeinu starts the Kutam Aran Torah Aleph. Torah is coming kol tefillas v'bakoshes. It is through Torah that all the tefillas and all the bakoshes are being received. Otherwise, without Torah, nothing goes. It says that Moshe Breslover was great until his last day. Rosh Chodesh Shvat is the yortzeit of Moshe Breslover. In Shabbos Mevach in Rosh Chodesh Shvat, that year when Moshe Breslover was nostalgic, my father-in-law, Rabbi Aaron from Kiblitz, all of a sudden he was in Chirim. And he was in the house of Rabbi Neicher, the grandson of Rabbi Abala. And Moshe was already on his deathbed. He was, on Motzei Shabbos, my father-in-law went to Moshe to visit him. It was already Erev Rosh Chodesh Shvat. And the minute he came in, Rabbi Moshe told him, Aaron, this night you are staying by Neicher. And Neicher has a yortzeit in Erev Rosh Chodesh Shvat. This is when he has yortzeit. But tell him that this is what I heard from Reb Noson. As we know, there's a minhag during Yortzeit to learn some chapters of Mishnayos, Le'ilu Nishmas. So he says, let them also learn the Torah of the Kutam Aran and say, this is Le'ilu Nishmas of the Niftar. This is what Rabbi Moshe said to my father-in-law, Rabbi Aaron. And the next day, the Rosh Chodesh Shvat, Rabbi Moshe was nostalgic. And when they talked about his estalkus, his passing, that Rabbi Moshe was then oisik in the Torah Atasesoli, which is Torah Reshut Gimel. And the entire night he repeated this Torah and he said, Li, Atasesol Li. And this is how he passed to his eternal home in Kedusha Tahar. And that Rabbi Moshe, that Goy, that Tzaddik, that was Zoiche to all his asagas, only because he was close to Reb Noson and became one of his best students. He lived great life in this world with the schus of his great Rebbe Reb Noson. And then, of course, he's Zoiche to Elam Habo. Asher Eloi ve'asher chelkoi. Alavai, that we should be Zoiche as well. Ad kan, Diburei Emuna for today.